Tonight, President Trump threatens Governor Pritzker and Mayor Brandon Johnson with jail over allegedly failing to protect ICE officers. This as National Guard troops ramp up their deployment in the region. The recent ICE raid on a South Shore apartment building comes under legal scrutiny. And economic warning lights are blinking. The chairman of the Chicago Federal Reserve Bank on markets, jobs, tariffs, and interest rates. Hey everyone, welcome to the Chicago Report. I'm Schutz. Chicago is still squarely in the crosshairs of President Trump's wrath. Today, a jarring threat to local leaders via social media. President this morning posting, quote, Chicago mayor should be in jail for failing to protect ICE officers. Governor Pritzker also. Today, the governor had a simple message in return.
He's a coward. He says a lot of things to the camera. He likes to pretend to be a tough guy. Come and get me. What kind of a country are we living in where the President of the United States is targeting his political opponents? I mean, that is the world that we're living in now, where he is calling out. He said he was going to jail Gavin Newsom. He says he's going to jail me. He says he's going to jail the mayor of the city of Chicago. These are people who stand against him, disagree with him, speak out about it, but literally have done nothing wrong. We are doing the people's business by standing up for them.
And all of this comes as the nation eagerly awaits a federal court ruling tomorrow on whether or not the president's deployment of the National Guard here is legal or not. And there are reports tonight that the National Guard could make their way to Broadview and that ICE detention center where we find, once again, our own Joni Lum. Joni, you've been there all afternoon. Are you hearing as well that National Guard troops are going to come there and help defend the property?
That is being discussed here in Broadview. We can report to you that sources close to the administration of the city of Broadview do expect National Guard troops to move from Elwood, Illinois into Broadview. When and how they would do that is unknown. But right now I want to show you the official protesting time here in Broadview ended 30 minutes ago, but we have a standoff here with a member of the public refusing to leave. The Broadview police are here, Cook County Sheriff's Police, and also Illinois State Troopers who are at the edge of the official protesting area. They made some announcements 30 minutes ago asking the protesters to disperse. They said they could risk arrest or citations, and so many of them have left. Right now we're seeing a lot of the media in the area, one member of the public who is saying she's on a public sidewalk, and the police who are standing here. It looks like they may also be leaving at this time. About the National Guard, it's not known where they would go when they get here to Broadview, but right across the street where that fence is a large parking lot, and there's a big building there that is for lease. There's been a lot of activity at that building, and also there were some truck trailers that were removed from the parking lot, could be to make room for National Guard troops when they do get here. The ICE facility run by Homeland Security is a very small one, and so that may be what is happening. As you know, they are awaiting, the state of Illinois is awaiting a ruling on whether it is constitutional to have the National Guard here. They filed for a temporary restraining order. A Trump attorney is supposed to answer that complaint by midnight tonight, with a federal ruling expected in court tomorrow at 11 o'clock. It's been said that perhaps the Trump administration response might also be lengthy, and so we'll see if tomorrow there is a ruling or an evidentiary hearing. Right now, we still have the standoff going about a protester who doesn't want to leave the area because she says she's on a public sidewalk. Live in Broadview, I'm Joni Lum. Back to you, Paris.
All right, Joni, thank you. We know Broadview Mayor Katrina Thompson has instituted that curfew to help protect the residents from all the unrest in that community. And we also have some live shots of the protest here in the Loop. It is stepping off right near Grant Park and Ida B. Wells Drive. A number of protest groups against the deployment of National Guard and against the ramped-up deportations here in Chicago. Looks like they're walking down Michigan Avenue headed toward where we are here in the Loop. And all of this coming as another federal judge ruled today that ICE's ramped-up deportation efforts might violate a national consent decree. And then the judge also questioned the legality of that recent raid in South Shore featuring those Black Hawk helicopters. And joining us with more on all these legal maneuverings is Mark Fleming, attorney with the National Immigrant Justice Center. Mark, today the judge rules that ICE has violated this national consent decree with a big mass arrest that happened earlier this year. Can you just give us the significance of this ruling?
Yes, absolutely. Under the immigration laws, ICE has limited warrantless arrest authority. They not only have to have probable cause that the person is removable, but also that they are likely to escape before a warrant can be obtained. What the judge ruled is that in 22 of the 26 violations that we had raised with them, or 22 of the 26 cases we raised with them, 22 were violations. We have raised with the court that we have 240 more potential violations. And the court agreed with us that what we are seeing is a rampant disregard by this administration and by ICE to abide by the limited warrantless arrest authority that they have, both under the statute, under federal law, but also under this consent decree.
So, and they're conducting a lot of these raids and deportations without warrants. We know if they have a judicial warrant, then the local police can cooperate with them. Local jails can cooperate with them. Clearly, they're not presenting any judicial warrants. So what does this mean for the efforts going forward? Do you believe ICE will scale back and respect this ruling or not?
We will find out. As of right now, the judge has ordered that they produce to us every arrest record going back to June where the person did not have a prior order of removal, so that we can assess and negotiate with the government, and if necessary, file another motion with the court if there is violations, that those individuals be released from custody. That does not mean that they will not be in continuing removal proceedings if ICE has started those proceedings. But it does mean this process that we're seeing on the streets of Chicago of snatching people without warning will need to stop, because they do not have the proper probable cause to make those arrests under immigration laws in this consent decree.
Speaking of probable cause, Bovino, the CPB commander that's here, that's kind of led this effort, has said in interviews, A, in the Sun-Times, that he's looking at the appearance of somebody, when they're out on the street and just kind of looking to go question someone. B, he said on CNN, looking at their features, whether they get scared, whether if they're driving, they grip the steering wheel harder. Would that fit into what this judge's definition of probable cause is, or does that seem to violate it?
That would seem to violate it. It's shocking that Mr. Bovino has been going on the press and saying that they only need reasonable suspicion to make an arrest. He has said this repeatedly in various interviews today, when in fact what they need is probable cause. And in fact, Judge Cummings, in his decision here in the Nava consent decree, flagged that this consent decree is more important than ever in light of the fact of the permissiveness with which ICE and CBP are making stops and questioning people, including many U.S. citizens. As the judge noted, the South Shore raid included arrests of many U.S. citizens. Purportedly, this was an immigration enforcement operation. Why are you zip tying tens of U.S. citizens in an immigration operation? It shows the recklessness with which this current operation is being conducted.
And clearly it appears the judge considers that raid as violating this consent decree as well. But what do we know about that raid specifically? Because DHS has consistently said they arrested all of these supposed Tren de Aragua gang members, but we really don't know who's been detained. Do you know? And are there U.S. citizens that are still detained?
We don't know. I mean, we are a week on, and the administration and this government has not even revealed that they had a criminal warrant to enter that building. They have not revealed who they arrested. We are still looking for those individuals. We do not know if all the U.S. citizens were released. We do not know if anyone was even criminally charged with anything. If this was such a serious national security or public safety risk, where are the prosecutions? I think, frankly, what we're hearing is that, maybe they believe that Tren de Agua was there. Well, produce the evidence. I think at this point, They have said the Tren de la Agua mantra so many times and yet have refused to produce any evidence, whether it was the individuals that were renditioned to the maximum security prison in El Salvador or in other cases. Unless and until they demonstrate and provide proof to the public that these, in fact, are folks that are part of this dangerous gang, we just can't trust that, in fact, what they're saying is the truth.
And we know the spokesperson for DHS, Tricia McLaughlin, has made numerous fact errors in some of her claims about what's gone on the last week. And we're looking at some live photos of a fairly large protest down Michigan Avenue here against immigration. You know, the other part of this, Mark, is all the arrest of protesters, especially out at that Broadview facility. And many of these cases are getting dropped, are they not?
Yes, they are. I mean, I saw in the news today that another 3 have been dropped. And frankly, anecdotally, and you know, this is playing out in other litigation, so I shouldn't comment too far because I don't know enough of what has been presented in that case. But anecdotally, what I've been hearing is that the provocation has been coming from the government, provocation coming from CBP.
So prosecutors are basically saying, you know what,
at the facility and not the protesters there.
So they're basically saying, like, after further review, we're looking at the evidence and we just don't have a case.
With respect to the prosecutions, it's certainly starting to seem like that. And we've seen this pattern repeated over and over and over. Again, it is easy to indict someone. An indictment is a one-sided process that is not adversarial. So the person that's going to be indicted is not there. And yet, over and over, they're failing to get indictments in these cases, which just demonstrate that it's flimsy evidence.
And we, of course, await that very big court ruling tomorrow as we look at some protesters marching down Michigan Avenue in the Loop. Several groups, several protests going on. There was demonstrations in Will County as well tonight, and of course at Broadview as some of the unrest grows here to these very provocative actions. We should mention that we did reach out to Customs and Border Patrol and the DHS for a statement about this ruling, whether they intend to appeal. Mark, is it your idea that they probably would appeal this ruling?
Frankly, at this moment, we don't know. I don't know on what basis they would. This is an agreement that they entered into. This is an agreement where they had a seat at the table to devise what was in it. And as the judge ruled, this is what you agreed to. And I'm finding violations of that. And so I don't know on what basis, but, you know, that doesn't stop the administration from filing appeals. All
right. There are many fronts here in this battle. There's the legal front. There's the protest front, but then also the information war that's going on as you see DHS and Customs and Border Patrol trying to create social media videos and really get the message out. So Mark Fleming, we appreciate talking to you. We know that you have your hands full, and thanks for your time.
Thank you. Really appreciate it.
And we're back after this with the president of the Chicago Fed. What will he and his colleagues like Jerome Powell do about interest rates? Right after this.